In today's video, I will survive 100 days in LEGO Fortnite. My mission is to build a village with solid defense and upgrade it to the highest level 10 to recruit members. Craft the rarest variety of weapons and tools, then go on an adventure and explore 3 different lands, plains, deserts, and snowy mountains to defeat 3 giant elemental bosses. This game was tons of fun, so now let's get into the video. On the first day when I just started, my task was to collect wood and stone from the ground to make basic things. Also, there was food on the ground such as berries, corn, and pumpkins. When you eat, your hunger and health will increase because the health in here will not be restored naturally. Nearby, there was animals such as chickens, sheep, and cows. When I pet them, they will drop their eggs, wool, and milk, which will be useful in future recipes. I also found abandoned buildings, which have a lot of loot, but are usually not very valuable. While looting, I encountered a wolf. At the beginning of the game, they were quite strong and I didn't have a weapon yet, so I had to carry an explosive barrel and blow it into Lego pieces. Then at night, the temperature drops, so I have to make a campfire to warm up and build a hut to avoid getting wet. Then, I make a bed to set a respawn point and make a crafting table to craft tools. In the game, you won't be able to sleep through the night, so in the evening, I craft an axe and pickaxe to get some resources. This is when the skeletons are spawned. They are quite weak and will drop bones, and sometimes they will drop their tools in their hands. Then I build a village square. This is like the center of the village. It will attract people to come here to live and work. The higher the level, the more people will come and new buildings will be unlocked. They will help you with things like gathering resources, cooking, and fighting monsters. But we will need to build houses for them and give them a place to sleep. The second shack I built was a little bigger so that the machines in there wouldn't get wet because it wouldn't be usable when it rained. Next, I made a woodcutter and a chest to store items. After upgrading the village to level 2, I built more houses to attract tourists to visit. That night, I organized an outdoor barbecue, and immediately there were tourists visiting the village. Once there are people living in the village, you can give them jobs, and the first person will be the explorer to go on an adventure with me. And then we both went to fight monsters and loot items. You had 2 skills, which were jump then slam attack and roll to dodge attacks. The wolves drop meat and claws, and stone crabs drop shells. Returned to the village, I upgraded the village to level 3, unlocking 1 more villager. Then, while looking for food, I discovered something very interesting in the distance. It was a loon llama. When I opened it, there were quite a few rare stuffs. The next day, I decided to go down into the cave to find rarer resources. In the cave, there were things like mushrooms, marble, and knot root to make better items. But I need higher level tools to mine them. There are also loot chests and miner skeletons down there. They are stronger and have more health and armor. After that, I was surrounded by a team of skeleton miners. But with my skill, I was able to clean up the entire team. Then I can upgrade the crafting table to unlock new recipes. I can also recruit a villager, who will provide me with planks and rods. Next, I made a spinning wheel to craft some silk thread, then made arrows and a crossbow, 2 charms to increase health, better armor, and an axe. The next morning, I started growing some food. I had to dig up soil and combine it with fertilizer to make a planting plot and plant the seeds. Then I went back to the cave to mine some better wood and stone. The next morning, I upgraded the village to level 4, but to upgrade to level 5 and have more villagers, I had to have enough resources and build more buildings for the village. That night, I tested my aiming skill with the crossbow to snipe headshot skeletons from 500 meters. The next structure I built was a watchtower so I could stand up high and shoot at the enemies more easily. After upgrading to level 5, I will unlock a very nice and large modern house project, as well as recruit more people to work in the village. One day while walking on the road, I discovered a group of gangsters guarding a treasure chest. So I slayed them and robbed them all. When I got home, I built a bigger hut with 2 rooms and a porch. To place a stone cutting machine to cut stone and marble into slabs, and then upgrade the village to level 6. The next day, I found 1 rainbow butterfly. Following it will lead to treasure, possibly a chest. That day, I continued adventuring and looting monsters, nothing special. Until the next day I discovered the desert biome, there would be new monsters and better resources. Monsters will be the same as in the plains but stronger, like sand crabs for sand shells. In the desert, we can find chili peppers to pick and eat so we can increase our body temperature to fight the cold. It will be very useful in the future, but right now we don't really need it. At night, desert wolves are spawned along with cowboy skeletons. Wolves also drop sand claws, and skeletons drop gunpowder to make dynamites. I also encountered a group of outlaws on night patrol, so I slapped the whole team. And when I find another loot llama, I try to hit it to see what happens. Maybe there's something interesting. And the conclusion is that you shouldn't attack them. I tried so you don't have to try. Returning to the village, I had enough items to upgrade my crafting table and make even better tools. And I also built a super big house as a private home for the village chief. That was me. The next day while traveling, I came to a beach and discovered a giant brute monster. This was the first boss in the plains. They had many skills from wide area attacks to poison spitting. I teased it a bit, but I didn't expect it to actually come to me, so I ran away. When I get home, I decorate some miscellaneous things to make my village a little nicer. Suddenly, that night it rained heavily, and lightning thundered in the sky. If you were hit by this lightning, you would be dead. Luckily, no one was injured. I also made a level 2 chest to store more items. At night, I decided to go back to the desert to find more loot. Unexpectedly, I encountered a level 2 desert brute boss. Its skills were the same, but it was stronger and had higher damage. But because they were too strong, I couldn't slap it at the moment. In the morning, I climbed to the highest peaks in the desert to dig some amber ore. They are used to make even better tools and to make rare health boost charms. Then I made a gem cutter, a gem cutting machine to cut amber and ruby. Next is to craft a level 3 pickaxe, crossbow, axes, and better health charms. Now I have more confidence to defeat level 1 brute. If I have enough arrows and a good crossbow, I can defeat all bosses. Although this method is a bit of cheating, but it is safe. It will drop brute scales used to make super awesome items. Then I built another wooden house to upgrade the village to level 8 and recruit more villagers. Now it's time to say goodbye to Meow Skulls. Say hello to Bright Bomber! When I returned to the desert, I went down into the cave to dig for obsidian, ruby, and copper ore. It was extremely hot, so I had to eat snowberries to cool down, or I would turn into a roast pig. At home, I made an enchantment table to increase the damage and durability of the tool. Next, I built a wooden wall around the village for better defense. Upgrading the village to level 9 unlocks the glider. It is used to travel faster and makes a cooling charm to reduce body temperature and increase health and armor. Another new discovery at the foot of the rainbow is a group of people dancing. If you come and dance with them, they will give quite rare and useful loot. Going deeper into the desert cave, there will be lava lakes, where you can find new bright core ore and new monsters. Skeleton miner throwing dynamite and blasters. It will deal critical damage and drop a blast core, which was very rare. After an extremely dangerous journey, I finally returned home safely. It seemed like everyone in the village was very worried about me. When I opened the door, I saw everyone sobbing. And the important moment has come. The village has been upgraded to the highest level 10. The last member has been recruited, and I will build the biggest mansion in the village to live in, along with one lucky person. So to travel to other biomes faster, I have to build a really high staircase like this to climb up and use the glider to glide. It's quite dangerous if I slip just 1 inch. I would be broken into pieces immediately. The next machine I need to make is a metal smelter to melt copper and iron ore into ingots when combined with bright cores. And now is a music show. Upgrading the crafting table, I unlocked the bronze swords, pickaxes, and a grappler to climb faster. I also found an airdrop from the sky. I thought it would have good loots, but it wasn't very interesting. Before going to the final frozen mountain biome, I need to prepare food and fire charms to keep my body warm. But then I found out that someone had broken the ladder. I crafted 2 healing charms and an immortal charm, and some super spicy burgers, and I was good to go. The snowy biome has ice mountains thousands of meters high, so you have to climb over them to reach the land from the inside. There are also new resources here, like frost pine, and new monsters like snow wolves, snow crabs, snow scorpions, and medieval skeletons. But the real danger is down in the ice cave. Skeletal wolves can bite you with one snap and you'll be gone. At this point, I was surrounded by these wolves. I ran back and forth, struggling for a while, then finally had to use the grappler to escape. My purpose here is to mine iron ore and sapphire, but because the pickaxe did not have enough level, I have to go back and use frost pine to make a better pickaxe. On the way back, I was stopped by a level 3 snow brute boss. This is also the strongest boss in the game, so I had to use my hit and run skills to fight it. Although I almost lost my life, luckily it got bugged and stuck in the trees. Even though I won, I didn't feel it was very glorious, so I decided to kill another one. Go home, prepare all the tools from Frostpine, and make the highest level fire charm. Also, I made an oven to cook the most delicious dishes. I even tried to make a vehicle, but it was quite complicated, so it didn't turn out very well. Back in the cave, I got all kinds of iron ore, sapphire, cursed bones from skeleton wolves, beat up medieval skeleton knights, and finally climbed to the top of the highest snow mountain to get some malachite ore. Finally, returning home, I finally crafted the best weapons and tools in the game. An iron sword, an iron crossbow, 2 epic charms to increase armor and heal, and returned to defeat the final boss again. Actually, it's quite easy though, just because I didn't have the balls to fight up close. To celebrate this glorious victory, I treated the whole village to some pizza. Oops, I accidentally ate it all. And that was the 100 Days of Survival in LEGO Fortnite. If you like it, please like and subscribe. I'll do another 200 days in the future.